assignment, you are going to create an assignment. And we're going to do that by creating a template in Google Docs. And there's lots of different ways that you can do that. I usually start from just a blank document and then just create what I want to do. But for this instance, I'm going to just show you that there are templates up here. So in Google Docs, there's lots of different templates. So if I click on here, looks like a couple of them for your school. But if I click here, you'll see there's some different school ones for essays and science reports and book reports, etc. So I'm going to actually pick this name of the book report right here. It's not very exciting, but okay. So I just I'm being lazy here on this one, but I have a just a template here, and I'm not going to do anything else with this template. I could, as a teacher, I could create anything as a template for my students to use. It could have pictures in it. It could have tables. It could have all kinds of things that your students need to interact with. In this case, I'm just doing this blank template here. Okay, and I am going to share it. So I'm going to share it. Oops. By clicking advanced, and then I'm going to change this to anyone with a link. Okay, now always do that just because it's a good habit to get into. You don't necessarily need that when you're working in Google Classroom, but I'm just going to do it for that. Okay, so I've got an assignment that I created in Google Drive. It could be a document, it could be a slide, it could be a PDF with some kind of writing that they needed to do. It could be a drawing, and we're going to look at some of those later. But right now, this is just a document that I want all of my students to interact with individually. So I'm going to go back up to create a class. This is my demo class here, and we're going to create an assignment. So we're going to go over here to this plus button, and you'll see that there's different types of things that you can add, and we're going to add an assignment. Now this is the one you'll use probably the most. So we're going to add an assignment, and we're going to call this book report. Now there's some things I can do in here. First of all, I can give instructions. Please write about a book you read this summer. Okay, and up here I can choose which classes get this particular assignment. So these are all of my classes, and I can check which ones. So that's nice if you've got multiple classes and you don't want to keep assigning the same thing. The other thing that you can do is you can choose which students get this assignment. And right now, there aren't any students in this class, but if I had a list of students here that had joined the class, I could check on and off if I didn't want all of the students to get it. So this would be great for teamwork, and you could just share with some students. Also down here, you'll see that you can choose a due date or not and time when it's due. And I'm going to do that here because when I do that, it puts it on the calendar for me. So that's an important thing. Okay, and then this topic thing is great for organizing your classroom. So when I start, there's no topic, and it says I can create a topic. So I'm going to call this literature. Okay, so I could do my topics by chapters. I could do my topics by type of activity. I could do my topics by teams, all kinds of different ways I could do my topics. And what happens with the topic is it just lets you search, filter out in your Google Classroom when things get crazy. Okay, so we've got that. Now there's some different ways you can add stuff to an assignment. There's an attachment, so if you've got a PDF or something that's just on your drive on your computer, you can add something that way. Anything that is in your Google Drive can be added with the Google Drive button. This is for YouTube videos, so you can add any YouTube video. And this is a link, so a link to a website that you want them to go to. Okay, so we created something in Google Drive, so we're going to click that, find what we created. Here it is, and I'm going to click Add. Now it's going to give me some options here, and I would like all of my students to get their own copy. There's 3 different options here. I can just send something out to students, and it's like getting a PDF where they can't edit the document. They just see it and read it or interact with it in that way. So if you want to do that, you want to push out that, you would just say students can view the file. So they're not going to mark up the file at all. If I want all of my students to edit the same document, so maybe it's a spreadsheet that I'm sharing, and I want them all to add their information into it, then I would say students can edit file. So you're sending the same file, the same working file, out to every student. So they're all working on the same file. This can get a little crazy, but it's also really powerful when you think through it. And then the last one is make a copy for each student. And this is like going to the copy machine and just sending one out to each student. And that's what we're going to do here. And then under Assign, I have some options as well. If I click on the down button here, I can assign, I can schedule, or I can save the draft. And so doing this is really great for planning ahead so that the students just get the material when you want them to get it. In this case, I'm just going to click Assign. And now everybody who's in your class will be receiving the book report.